So Dion has been great for college football. Man, he has brought a lot of eyeballs to the tube. I mean, people are talking about college football now more than ever, right? Than if it was Kirby or Nick Saban, right? The old guard. I think Dion has brought a lot of attention back to college football, which is good, right? And with that, he's brought a lot of casual fans. Yes, they did win those first 3 games, and college football world was going crazy, right? Like they said, you couldn't go a segment on ESPN without hearing about Dion, right, in Colorado. So now reality is kind of set in, and they're not doing as well.
They won 1 game last year, and they've already won 4. So, hey, I applaud Colorado already. You changed the atmosphere in 1 off season. But, this is not the level of talent is different, man. And at this level, being one athletes, and you see it in there, right? The first 3 weeks, people were saying that, it's the same as it was when he was at HBCUs. And, they got a chance to make it to a run for the Pac-12 championship. And it is not the case. And I'm glad that some humbleness is coming to the, to the Buffs. That Oregon game, that was a knockout punch, like boom, right in the mouth, man. But then USC, USC is not that good. Beats them. They make it close. They make it interesting at the end, but USC dominated that game most of the time. And then you go into halftime 29-0, and you at the end of the game you lost the game. That's terrible. One player burned them for 3 touchdowns in the second half. Stanford scored on 5 straight scoring drives. You couldn't get 1 stop. Like, all this hype and all this talk and all this attention, you couldn't get 1 stop in the second half to win the game. Hey, they're not ready yet.
What I think, right, it's prime, right? So what everybody did was, us included, right? Everybody put Dion on a pedestal, right? We put him there. Hey, man, that's fucking prime. He gonna get the job done, right? What you said, you applaud them because last year they were a 1-win team. This year they're already at 4 wins. I think that fans need to temper their expectations. It's year 1, man. You got to think about this. He lost 57 players to the transfer portal, right? He brought in 49, right? So this team has, there's no cohesiveness. It's going to take a while to build something that's sustainable, right? And I think where he's at now, they're going to get recruits, right? Because he's prime. He's going to be able to recruit. He's already put Colorado on the map, right?
Yeah.
So the recruits are going to come in. Once they make that move to the Big 12 next year, I think he's going to get more and more recruits. Do I see them winning the Big 12 in the next 2 years? No, right? Because if you look at their statistics for this season, right? I know Ron going to touch on that in a second. It's not good. And they have not been consistent on defense. They haven't been consistent on offense, right? Like you said, they were up 29-0 in their last game, right? And ended up blowing that lead. I mean, Stanford haven't been good since, I don't know, the last 5 years? It's been a while, right? They haven't been good. So there's no way. They should have won that game off the players that they had alone, right? And coaching. They didn't. The players got complacent, right? Oh, we up 29-0. We got this. And they didn't come out with the same fight in the second half, and it showed. Travis Hunter, who's still going to be a top 10 pick in next year's draft. 2025 draft, because he's only a sophomore. He was getting eaten alive by the receiver, man. The entire second half. You can't let a guy take a 5-yard slant 97 yards to the house. You can't let that happen.
His name is Alec Ayometer. 13 catches, 294 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. I would have thought this dude grew up playing football in the South. My man's from, I think, Alberta, Canada.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gave him the business. And if you look at the rest of Colorado's schedule, man, honestly, I don't see them winning another game, right? Like I said, the fans have to temper their expectations. They were a 1-win team last year.
So some of the stats I pulled up, right? It's just, the casual stats, but on total offense, they're 38th, right? With 432 yards a game. And in passing offense, they're third, 346. In total defense, they're second to last, averaging 473 yards a game. And their passing defense is last in the country. And you would think with Dion, the passing defense would at least be a lot better, right?
I would Travis top 50.
Yes. I mean, I know Travis Hunter was out for a couple of games. Cormuddy McLean has been inconsistent or hasn't played as much. But I would think with Dion being, the prime time, the best cornerback to ever play college football, I would just think that part of the defense would be legit. And it has not been. Going back to what AB said, you don't take a 5-yard slant 97 yards to the house. I don't know if Dion's waiting to go back through the transfer portal again to gain more recruits that way and, build this team off the transfer portal versus going through, the traditional way of getting recruiters, recruiting classes in. I don't see Colorado winning another game this year. I think they should settle, once the season is over, start focusing on the Big 12. I disagree with you though, AB. I do think they have a shot at competing in the Big 12 because Texas and Oklahoma will be out of there. You'll have like the TCUs, the Kansas State, Texas Tech. I think they'll be a lot more competitive with those teams.
I do. I just didn't say, I didn't think he would be competitive in year 1.
Okay.
I think he'll end up being competitive. Year 2, year 3, I think he will.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wasn't being like, I really think that is a success. Colorado's a success story, right? So I don't think they could give away tickets last year. And now you can't get tickets to the Colorado game. Fox had them as their primetime game twice. Game day was there. It's fun. Colorado is on the way back. They're not back yet. They need a defensive line. They need an offensive line. They need a running back. They need consistent play. They need more physical play from their stars. But, hey, man. So he has done, in the short amount of time he's been there, he's done an amazing turnaround. And he's only going to get better. Like, he's going to get recruits. I don't think that's going to be he's going to get the talent there. But it's a 2-3 year plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're moving conferences next year. So 3 years from now, we could be talking about Colorado being in the running for one of the better teams in college football, but it's just not the reality right now. And all those casual fans that were like, why do they lose 2 games? It's just because you can't assemble a team expecting to be a champion in less than a year.
No.
This is teaching, developing recruits, and different coaches too. You know what I'm saying? Coach Brown will get there. And I don't think, but yeah, maybe 1 win. That's a stretch. The next game, 1 win, it's about as best as they can hope for at the last stretch of the season.
If you go into the portal to get players, and you rely on the portal to get players, you're expected to win now, right? Because if you're getting somebody out the portal, they either got some type of experience or they think they can compete for playing time. So I think that's like, hey, I went and got this, this junior or this sophomore from, Texas or from Bama or from Miami, he ready to play right now. So I think, like you said, they have gotten some not everyday fans like us, but some fans that might not know that much about. They just know that Prime is the coach and that they're paying attention to Colorado football. they're not going to know. But if we know that if you go on the portal and you get some people, you expect that they plug and play. This guy ready to go. I just got me a 6'3" receiver out the portal. He's starting. You know what I mean? To build good depth on your roster takes minimum 3 years.
100% agree with that statement. 3 years. Now, if they're this team in 3 years, then we're talking it's prime really head coach material or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not their moment yet. They're not ready for that. The spotlight. And I think he said that himself in the post-game interview.
He said they just like it. They don't love it. He wants them to be in love with it.
Yeah.
Because when you're in love with something, you love it unconditionally. You give it your all unconditionally. Yeah.
Hey, if that's what he wants, if he wants his team to love the game, I think a lot of the extracurricular stuff that they're doing, they should kind of put it to a halt. And I give you an example, right? Shadir Sanders, when they beat Arizona State, first thing he does, he goes to the student section, he's flashing his watch, right? And all that stuff. Like, cut all that out, man. I just think a lot of that stuff, because a lot of these teams don't do that.
No.
Like the Alabamas, they don't talk trash. He just go out and perform on the field.
Yeah.
And I know how Deion made his living, but those guys are not Deion.
No.
Right? And I think
there's only one prime.
Yes. And I think he has to get them to understand that, like, hey, let's cut out the shenanigans. Let's just go out here on the field and dominate.
But, he has to cut it out, too, because he's a big social media guy. You know what I'm saying? With the videos and recordings and, his pregame speeches and his practice speeches and all that stuff. Hey, man, put the cameras away. Let's get on the field to handle business.
Hey, the cameras were great for year 1. But if you want to be serious, year 2 and 3, that shit
They got to go away. Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
So year 1, I like the media attention that Colorado.
It's cool. Build your brand. Yeah, you got to build your brand.
Now, hey, cut that out and go win on the field. And hey, afterwards, you want to do the whole watch celebration after you won something, not just a game. After you won something with substance, it's title and a conference title or something. I'm all right with that, man. But yeah, you're right. Deion did that because he was probably one of the best athletes of all time.
All right, guys, that does it for this episode of the Unbiased Room. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell us how we doing. Take care.